Hi, everyone. Another in our series of integrating InsMark with RePredict, a predictive spreadsheet. And we're going to look at a import of an existing policy that you may have sold a long time ago, and then how to do a projection based on that existing illustration, the original illustration, but using the current values that you obtained from the company. So let's do this. Let's go into the RePredict ledger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import this illustration here that was sold back in 2017. Okay. Let's go and show you how we get those values in there. We can extract this PDF, or just really, we just want pages from it. And we only want a few. We don't want like all 50. Okay. So if I do this, it opens up that PDF, and here are the values I want. So I'm taking 3 pages out of however many there are, 54, downloading that to my computer and putting that in a file where I can remember where to go get it. And that's right here. This is actually 3 pages. Boom. Go back into my RePredict software and add or import. Smart enough to go find that. There it is. Upload. Now, back in the day on this particular one, it would show the alternate scenario interest rate values in the current scenario. I only want the current scenario. So I am going to highlight these on the edit page, and I'm going to delete them. Okay. Now, I want to get these values into InsMark. This is my reference original as sold illustration. Okay. So InsMark notation of 2017 original issue, and it's Allianz, and it was and still is that name. Once again, this will work with any company, any product, IUL, VUL, GUL, whole life, doesn't matter. And we'll call this guy Toby Simpson. Male. I can move this around. You can see where it brought in the proper death benefit. These have a smart match to them, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily know that that cash value is the surrender value. So use the drop-down box to match it, and boom. Save and submit. This is going to open up the InsMark dialog box, and it's going to transport this data into InsMark's data file. Now, the top one is for web-based. I use it on my own computer, local, so I'll click InsMark Illustration System. And don't click anything in this box. It's going to go by the wayside rather quickly. So we'll open up and create a new workbook and call it Toby Simpson. Already in there for me. Very nice. And I want to do this InsMark compare because I'm going to want to compare it to the in-force values. Okay. So that's in there now. If I hit OK, it's going to bring me here. You can see there's the name. I'll just add that. And now let's go back to RePredict. Once I have this in the way I want it, I hit Analyze with AI. It's going to learn the nonlinear patterns. And now this new button pops up called Predict. Well, I sold this several years ago. I know right now that that value there is 449,411. And I want to do a prediction going forward based off of the original illustration, which is this one. So I'm going to highlight just these rows. I don't want to highlight. The 100,000 isn't going to change. It's already happened. And I'm going to right click and hit mark as dependent. And when I do, if I change one thing in here, everything's going to change. So I want to put in the current value of 449, 411. Well, I don't want to do a predict all because these numbers have already occurred. I want to do a predict forward. Okay, so there's my prediction, which I can rename it. I'll just put 2024 values. Of course, get an in-force ledger from your company carrier. It may look a little different than this because this is based upon the original illustration, depending upon how long ago you sold it. Want to get this over to InsMark, load save data, and I'm going to bring that in. But now I'm just going to change this and call it 2024 values. Everything else is the same, save for the fact that I do have to one more time grab that cash value column, save and submit. And it's once again opening the InsMark system. Now, since I already had the InsMark illustration system open, when I go to click it, it's not going to give me the choice to set up a new case. It's just going to take the data and put it in here. Notice this just popped up for me. Add and report. Make our cover page say original illustration versus 2024 values. Preview. Now this is a snapshot in time, but it does give you an idea going forward what this would look like. Okay, so not that big of a change. I mean, it's got time to catch up. There's loan proceeds and there's the death benefit. Here's the circle summary for these. Okay, so we've got that into InsMark. You can do anything you want with it now, but what I would say is if you did sell this policy or if you sold one today, what you would want to do is keep that in here. You can file it in a client notebook, all right? And that's 2024 values. Next year you do another one, 2025 values. Now, within RePredict, you can do a comparison. It's not as comprehensive as InsMark, but it is a little bit different in that it's a year-by-year comparison. So if I hit this add button here and hit add comparison page, and I pick analyzed data, which is the original illustration, and then I just select the columns I want to compare to. So I want to compare my net distributions, my cash value, and my death benefit. And for reference, I want age, year, and premium outlay. Hit compare. Boom. Now notice I kind of ran out of real estate over here. If I hit those three bars right there, it gives me more reading space. So here's the original. Here's this. Notice there was no change for these years. They already went by. But year by year, you can see difference in cash value, difference in death benefit, difference in income. So it really didn't affect the income that much. As you continue to scroll down here, it's got it for each and every year. But furthermore, if you continue to scroll, automatically graphs out for you the differential in each one of those columns. This is a young person, so maybe we don't want it to go all the way out to age 120 for the graph. Grab that, restrict the data set, and maybe bring it to something more realistic, life expectancy. And you can see how that death benefit pattern, cash value, is keeping in line with the pattern of the original. And if we go down to death benefit, here's the death benefit. So I've now got this in there the way I want. I'm going to open this box back up. And I want to save this. So I'll just hit save. And this is a new client. And I want to create a notebook for him. So I hit that little file cabinet there and select notebook. Well, there isn't one in here. Can't find it. So I'm going to say Toby Simpson. Add. notice that just created over here, this file. So anytime I run a ledger, I want to store it in here, I can do it. Okay. So it's rather easy to go back and grab. So this is a way that you can use RePredict in conjunction with InsMark to run a reasonable facsimile of what values would look like going forward based on the original illustration using the attained values. If you have any issues getting this over to InsMark, do not call InsMark. Call us. It's what we do. And if you have a paid subscription, you would have already had an onboarding session with us. So I hope this helps, and stay tuned for further developments with integrating InsMark with RePredict. Thank you.